Today on 10-Minute IT Jams, we have Frankie Steel, who is the VP of Sales for Australia and New Zealand for Syniti. So welcome back to your second IT Jam, Frankie.
Thanks very much, Nick. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure as always. So to begin, so it's a second IT Jam with us. Could you tell us what Syniti has been working on since we last connected?
Yeah, we've been extremely busy since we last spoke. So we've made some exciting announcements. We've gone through a merger. So first of all, we've merged with Data Migration Resources, or DMR, out of the US. We're both data-focused companies, so bringing together our two organizations allows us to drive some synergies. It also allows us to launch some new products to market. So we're looking at data quality driven out of the cloud. We're also looking at implementing a solution that greatly reduces the cost and complexity of implementing SAP's master data management, both from an implementation and an ongoing management of that solution. At SAP Sapphire earlier in the year, we announced some key partnerships to help support customers who are looking at the RISE with SAP journey. This allows them to address the kind of how do we get there question from a migration and a custom code perspective. And this is relevant for clients that are looking at both technical or greenfield or select data transition options. We've announced some or put into the SAP Marketplace new software to help customers accelerate enterprise planning and consolidation around BPC and EPM. We've also put in Syniti data replication into SAP Marketplace and AWS Marketplace. And we've launched some new jumpstart packages that help our clients to track and report on their data quality issues across key areas and key processes such as procure to pay, order to cash, and their supply chain. So as I said, we've been quite busy.
Brilliant, sounds good. So you mentioned data a lot, and we're going to be talking a lot about business transformation in this interview. So what role does data play in achieving successful business transformation?
Yeah, data has an impact on all aspects of business transformation. So all businesses buy stuff, all businesses sell stuff or services. Some of them make stuff. And so, you know, these are general themes that we see in business, and data is prevalent across all of those activities. So digital transformation for us is more than just a technology change. Businesses cannot ignore the evolution in their business models. How do they go to market? Where do they go to market? And the processes that underpin and support those transformations to help the enterprise run. So from a process to work correctly, it needs what we call business ready data. So that is data that is in the right place at the right time, that is trusted, accurate, secure, safe. So we call this fit, form, and function. Data can empower businesses to provide insights into how do they automate and streamline these processes. So this can be across sales, supply chain, procurement, HR, finance, help with compliance. So again, really data has a role to play in transformation across the businesses. We also see a big focus on BI and analytics and the use of data to drive better business decisions. So to do this, you really need data in real time, but the most important thing is you need accurate, high quality data. So this means no duplications, no errors, no inconsistencies. You want relevant data. So this is often difficult in clients that have grown up with disparate systems or siloed systems. So as I said in the beginning, data has an impact on all aspects of a transformation, and how to achieve good data management across your enterprise is really the problem that Syniti solves.
Right, yeah. It's obviously no small thing to digitally transform. So what are some of the primary challenges that businesses face when embarking on this transformation, especially in the ANZ region?
Yeah, and I will answer this generically because I see it broader than just ANZ, but it is the same problems for our ANZ customers. I see three areas that consistently either contribute to the success of a transformation project or contribute to the failure of a transformation project. The first is business sponsorship. You must have strong executive sponsorship across all areas or most of the areas of the business, and strong alignment. These sponsors need to be willing not only to invest with business resources, but also their time, and they need to make timely decisions. And transformation for me needs to be business-led, with IT being an enabling and supporting function. The second area that I see most often underinvested in is change management. Again, for me, it's a joint ownership area. IT need to be responsible for the creation of the assets that are required for the change management, but the business need to sponsor and drive that change through the organisation, because after all, you're doing a transformation, and the benefits that you expect to see from that transformation can only be realised once systems and processes are adopted. So there's a joint responsibility for me around change management. The last area is data, and obviously this is a key for us. Data typically represents, I'm going to say optimistically, 10 to 20% of a budget from a transformation. Might be 10 to 15, but somewhere around there of your budget. But typically introduces about 80% of the risk. So where businesses are very successful is they have a focus on data as a separate stream. They focus on data as soon as they can and as early as possible. So they start working on data cleansing activities well before a project might even be stood up. They start to understand their landscape and what the tasks and how big the job is that needs to be done, and then appropriate allow time for that during a transformation project. Too often we see data being a last minute consideration, and data is typically on your critical path for any large transformation project. So it's one that you really don't want to leave till the last minute. The earlier you can bring data into your project, the more likely your project is to run on time and on budget.
Right, yeah. So yeah, we've just talked about the challenges. So what are the best practices that organizations should use to address these challenges and make the transformation a smooth one?
Yeah, so again, I think those three key areas, the sponsorship, the change management, and the data, and if I focus on our core area, which is the data migration component, for us, you know, we look around the industry, and the standard way of doing a data migration hasn't changed since the 90s. And there's always pressure to reduce the cost of the migration. And again, it's 80% of the risk of an overall program or project. So it's not really the place you want to introduce a lot of risk. So our approach is really different. We've spent 25 years and thousands of large, complex enterprise data migrations to help develop a methodology for success and ensure a successful data migration. And really, when we do this, we focus on four key things that tend to be missing from the traditional and typical way of doing things. So one is planning. Again, you know, I talked earlier about bringing it as forward in the project as you can, but understanding the amount of time and effort that you need to get tasks done and putting that against the plan. So you can understand really quickly where an overall program plan has not allowed enough time for data and the data work that needs to be done due to the size of it. A lot of people miss this step. They just generically go to, oh, we'll allow X amount of time, not factoring actually, is that the appropriate amount of time for the complexity or the quality of the data that we're coming in with. The second one is collaboration. So a data migration project will have a wide range of people involved, and that includes technical people, it includes business users, it might include third parties like your systems integrators, IT data teams, you'll have executive sponsors. So really having and getting everybody to collaborate in one platform has a number of key benefits. One is it's a common environment. It allows you to use common language, a repeatable process. It allows you to do accurate and real-time reporting. It allows you to fix it once and then have it replicated and have that remediation work replicated through your system. And really, more to the point, it brings together the right amount of context for your subject matter experts to be able to make the decisions and do the work that they need to do. So you really want to support them. And the next part is using algorithms, machine learning, or whatever to do the bulk majority of the work. You can pretty much automate up to about 80% of a migration work. And that leaves the last 20%, the really difficult and challenging pieces. That leaves your resources and your expensive and time poor resources to focus on those. The third aspect is fact-based reporting. At the moment, if most migration projects, it's extremely hard to say where are you at in that process. And it's on the critical path of any major project. So you don't want it delaying because the cost of it delaying is significant. So by having fact-based reporting, you've got your plan, you know your tasks, you know what people have to do. And by having the activities done in the platform, you can suddenly then report how are we going by module, by object, by role, by, you've got some very detailed fact-based reporting that allows you to see the progress of your migration project. And in fact, what we're seeing more and more is the very experienced transformation program managers, the ones that do the very large multi-year programs, will use data as a lead indicator to the overall health of the transformation project. So this is a practice that we absolutely support and think is best practice. The other one is think beyond the project. So in a migration project, you've made a number of decisions as an organization or a business. You've defined definitions of your data, standards, policies. You've made business decisions and rules. You've assigned owners to each of your areas of your data because it is a business asset. You've provided context for your decisions, and you've made your data squeaky clean. So why not maintain that state? Why not use that information and that knowledge that you've gathered through that process and use it to continue to have clean data and clean data quality, or use it to help you to accelerate data governance or your next data project? So really, customers that are going through this transformation are also looking to build agility into their organizations to help with things like mergers, acquisitions, and divestitures, or compliancy, BI and analytics. So again, we think that retaining that knowledge beyond the project is really key to helping organizations.
Right.
Sorry, I was just going to say a recent IDC study showed that the Syniti Knowledge Platform, which is our core software platform, can help to reduce the cost of a migration by about 38%. And it does this specifically by helping with time savings for both project resources and subject matter experts, driving efficiencies there. So people's time really. And that results in about a 303% ROI, or another way of looking at that is a payback period in less than 8 months. So, it's quite compelling to use these tools in migration to help solve some of those problems and really to stop doing the things the way we used to do them in the 90s.
Right, cool. And finally, if I could get you to briefly tell me, so Syniti has been focusing on its own business transformation in the last quarter. So how has that contributed to Syniti's growth in the region?
So we've made a number of changes within our organisation, and we're also caught up in this COVID world. So we've had to be agile in the way that we've done things. And what we've really done is focused on the things that are most important to our clients and to our customers. So one is having that enterprise view end to end of their data management and helping them to build that agility into their organisations and helping them to do that from a data perspective. It became very evident that a number of clients didn't have the systems or processes or data management that they needed. And especially when they look across areas that impact them in the short term, being supply chain resilience, plus also cash flow, working capital, which is obviously key to the health of a business. We also see clients resort back to what is core business, so that can lead to often mergers and acquisitions and divestitures. So for us, it's really focusing on how do we help our clients get through those changes that they need to make quickly and effectively. We've also focused very strongly in the last sort of year on our partner ecosystem and building out capability and capacity within our partner ecosystem. So that's partnering with some of the global system integrated partners, plus also some of the niche partners across ANZ. And that again gives our customers more choice, but also builds the capacity as we see the continued demand for resources across these business transformations. So as our CEO always says, the best is yet to come, and certainly in ANZ, I'm very proud of the work that we're doing with our clients and the growth that we're seeing across the region.
Brilliant, awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of today's interview. Thank you for joining me again today, Frankie.
My pleasure, Nick. Thank you.